This week on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we're going to look at the third-party risk management process, business rationale, questionnaire due diligence, and contract term. Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. And now I'd like to say a few words about the latest podcast on the Compliance Podcast Network, AI Today in 5 with 5. Thrilled to announce the inaugural episode of my latest podcast series, AI Today in 5. I wanted to do a short, curated set of stories and news stories about AI for the compliance professional and the greater business professional. You can check it out on Megaphone, the Compliance Podcast Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple, or wherever great podcasts are listened to. Check out AI Today in 5. We begin our week of exploration of the third-party risk management process for third parties by defining what that process is, what you need to put into place, and how to implement it. In Q4 of 2025, third parties are still the highest risk for a compliance professional. The third-party risk management process is well known and well articulated, and that process is a business justification, a questionnaire to a third party, due diligence based on that questionnaire on a third party, compliance terms and conditions for your contract, and management of third-party oversight after a contract is signed. The Department of Justice in the 2024 Evaluation of Corporate Compliance Programs devoted an entire section to third-party risk management. They posed a series of questions including, is your process risk-based and integrated? So how has the company's third-party risk management process corresponded to the nature and level of the risk identified by the company? Has this process been integrated into procurement and vendor management? What about controls? Does the company ensure there is an appropriate business rationale for the use of third parties? If the third parties were involved in underlying misconduct, what was the business rationale? What mechanisms exist to ensure that contractual terms specify that the services to be performed, payment terms are appropriate, describe the work, and compensation is commensurate with the services? What about the management of the relationship? Has the company considered and analyzed the compensation and incentive structures for third parties against compliance risks? How does the company monitor its third parties? Does the company have audit rights to analyze the books and records of the third parties? And has the company exercised those rights? How does the company train its third-party relationship managers about compliance risks and how to manage them? And how does the company incentivize compliance and ethical behavior by third parties? And real actions and consequences. Does your company track red flags that are identified from due diligence? And if so, how do you clear those red flags which may have appeared? Does the company keep track of third parties that do not pass a company's due diligence or that are terminated? And does the company take steps to ensure that those third parties are not rehired or hired at a later date? If the third parties were involved in misconduct at issue, were red flags identified, and has any similar third party been suspended? A well-designed compliance program should apply a risk-based due diligence to its third-party relationships. The DOJ has noted the need for and the degree of appropriate due diligence may vary based upon the size and nature of the company. Third parties should assess the extent to which the company has an understanding of the qualifications and associations of those third parties. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, use the full 5-step process for third-party risk management. 2, make sure the business development, involvement, and buy-in. And 3, operationalize all of your steps going forward by incorporating the business unit into your management of the relationship going forward. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. And I'm happy to do for you the compliance profession is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip, either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced